My name is Johnathan Duncan, and I am a candidate for City Council in the 6th N District. So I'm a community organizer with KC Tenants, and KC Tenants is the citywide tenant union that organizes the poor and working class to assure that everyone has a safe and accessible and affordable home. There are a lot of issues in our city that we want to tackle, but we can't actually help the citizens of our city if they don't have a safe and accessible roof over their head. I think of Kansas City like a home. How can we assure that this city is a place that feels like a home, where people can thrive in their home? And that first looks like housing. Truly affordable housing means that housing that's reflective of the incomes of the people who live in Kansas City and not a regional definition, which is what we currently have. City Council passed an ordinance earlier this session that classified affordable housing as $1,200 for a one-bedroom. I don't know many people who can afford that. I think that we need to actually pass policies that are reflective of the lived experience of the people who live in Kansas City, and that looks more like a $500 one-bedroom. So passing policies that achieve truly affordable housing is number one. Number two is transportation. A house can oftentimes feel like a prison if you can't leave it. If you can't function and be a part of the other opportunities in our city, then you're stuck. So we need to assure that we are intentionally investing in our public transit system. So not just that it works, but that it's so good that people are excited to use it. And that's not the case today with our bus system. And finally, co-governance. So I'm running a people's campaign. Every single piece of this campaign is informed by the struggle and the genius of the people of Kansas City. Our campaign platform was developed through listening sessions with over 600 residents in our city. And I have only volunteers on my campaign who are knocking doors. We need to approach city government the same way. We need to assure that the working class have an opportunity to have a say in the policies that affect their everyday lives. And that looks like shifting committee meetings and city council meetings to times that working class folks can actually get to at the end of the day, not in the middle of the day. Assuring that if they have accessibility issues, that they can provide testimony either via Zoom or in some type of electronic fashion. That we are providing childcare and translation services so that people who have children or whose English is not their first language still feel that they can have a say in the policies that affect their lives. I'm a combat veteran, Army, 10 years of service with a tour in Iraq. And when I came home at 21 years old, the mental health care services that they told me would be there weren't. It was a 3-month wait to access mental health care, to see a mental health care provider, and I needed help yesterday. But my community looked out for me. My community of veterans saved my life, and it's the reason that I'm running. I wouldn't be here without my community, and I don't think that community is simply a buzzword that we can throw around, that often gets thrown around in politics. I think it's a lived action that you choose to be a part of every day. It's why I've been organizing for the last 15 years. It's why I'm running for city council, because you can't organize without a community who are going to hold you accountable, who are going to provide their genius to inform your decisions, and you can't govern effectively without community either. I would love to see Kansas City be the first city in the United States of America to adopt municipal social housing. Municipal social housing has 3 main ingredients. It is democratically controlled by the people who live there. It is publicly backed, and it is off the private market, meaning that it's not subject to profit whims. When we look at affordable housing, how do we actually tackle that goal when so often we are at the mercy of the market, and the market is always driven by profit? I think that our city policies should be driven by people. So I would like to see Kansas City truly adopt municipal social housing. I would like to see us have a public engagement system that actually works for the people of Kansas City. I would like to see us move our city council meetings and our committee meetings to times that are actually accessible to working class folks. I would like to see us provide assistance in the form of childcare and translation services. And I would like to actually see people be excited in Kansas City to be involved with their municipal elections. I think that we need to be publicizing city government and municipal elections the same way that we publicize the NFL draft or the World Cup. And I think that if we do that and we show that city government is something that will actually work with you and not do things to you, that more people want to be involved. And the third thing is I want to have a unified vision on city council. My biggest gripe with city council today is that there's a lot of different individual pieces of thought, and there's not a unified vision of what we actually want to achieve. Over the next 4 to 8 years, we have a real opportunity to make Kansas City a place where working class people can thrive, but we have to be intentional in how we get there. So I'd like to see a city council with a unified vision that's focused on the people. We're a divided city, we're a divided nation. I work as the Director of Administrative Operations for the National Veterans of Foreign Wars headquarters. I often work with people who I am ideologically opposed to, but we have a common goal, and that is to help veterans, service members, and their families. We know where we're aligned, and we work together to achieve that goal. I think that city council and our city government is the same exact way. There may be oftentimes that we disagree ideologically, but as long as we have a unified vision of what we want to achieve, and that unified vision is based in ensuring that every single resident in Kansas City thrives in our city, then we can create policies that actually reflect that vision and create benchmarks to get us there. I think that we need to look beyond the wedge issues and focus on what's important, that's the people of Kansas City. My first 30 days of office, I want to sit down with every single city council member because we are looking at a city council that's going to be drastically different than the one we have today. We organize through self-interest. We might be organizing for different reasons, but we have a unified self-interest. So I need to understand why these city council members ran for city council, what they want to achieve in their next 4 years, and where we're aligned. So I want to have one-on-one conversations with every single one of them to understand who they are and what they want to achieve and where we're aligned so that we can work together to get there. Before I was running for city council, I was a leader and organizer with KC Tenants. And one of the things that we wanted to achieve that we were working on that we had to leave on the table was source of income discrimination. And that looks like if you have a voucher, that Section 8 or any type of housing voucher, right now a landlord can choose not to rent to you. I don't think that's right. I think that everybody, regardless of your income or your socioeconomic status, deserves a place to live. And we need to ensure that we are protecting those folks and providing source of income discrimination protections so that everybody in Kansas City can thrive. In 90 days, I would like to see us actually invest in our transit system. We have been operating our transit system, our public transit, specifically our buses, with austerity measures. We need to ensure that our transit system is robust and that it's exciting for people to use, and that's not the case today. So I would like to see us be intentional with how we invest in our public transit.